August. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm not live.
I'm Brian.
I'm alive.
And I'm Gus. I'm here semi-live, full cunto with the podcast for you.
I was going to be
That was going to be his name. I had it in the chamber.
It's a perfectly cromulent word.
cromulent.
Gavin, I'm glad you're here. I've been wanting to talk to you about something. You missed the past couple podcasts.
This is true.
You met up with Tom Scott and you didn't tell me.
Was I supposed to tell
I'm
you?
a big Tom Scott fan.
Oh, I'm a big Tom Scott.
I'm very jealous of you eating hot sauce and chips with him.
Yeah. Well, I actually gave him a tour of Stage 4 in like 2019.
Oh, did I see
you not
him?
there?
I might have seen him then. Yeah, I think
was
I did.
introducing him to people who were around, but
yeah.
I mean, it's a bit of a ghost town that day anyway.
Yeah.
Is he the hot wings guy who interviewed
No.
No, that's Sean Evans.
Oh, you said hot sauce.
Wait, they did eat hot sauce together.
Yeah, we just made a Hot Ones knockoff video.
Okay.
He's like I wouldn't know how to describe his channel other than he just makes videos about very interesting things that no one's made videos about before.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
That's a good niche.
In this past Monday's podcast, I talked about one of his videos that he had put out recently where he talked about this office at the post office where all they do there is look at the pieces of mail that the OCR software cannot decipher. So it's like mail that has poorly written addresses, and then people sit there, look at a scan of a piece of mail, and then tell the system where it's supposed to go.
Oh, like translated.
Right.
Okay.
Like it's like, oh, like someone scribbled this and they can't read it.
And it's constantly like improving the recognition. So the more time that passes, the more stuff they're dealing with that just sucks even more. Because it's like as the recognition is improved, it just means the stuff they're left with to identify is the
Very difficult.
most messed up addresses or like smudged or like water spilled on
So
it.
they're just actively making their own jobs harder and harder.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, until it's gone.
the process and the system had improved so much that at one point the post office or the postal service operated 13 of these centers around the United States, and now there's only one because
wow.
the software has gotten so good at
They're making
reading.
themselves obsolete, basically.
Yeah, but like Gavin said, like they're making it like the most difficult ones are all that's left for them to try to
Software
process.
fires them at the end. Great job.
And there's like just racks of servers that just have like all of the US mailing addresses in the entire country saved on them.
So it's like they don't even need, when they see this piece of mail, they don't even need to type the whole address. They just type like a couple of the numbers, a little bit of the street name, and the zip code, and then it knows, oh, there's only one possible address that starts with this number and has these letters in the street name.
So at this point, they're just down to letters children addressed in crayon
Yeah, or
to Santa.
Or a dog is snacked on a little bit.
Yeah.
So
He also had this other video about this water channel that has an electric current running through it. And the reason that
to kill all the fish from going upstream?
to keep the fish from being an invasive species in a lake. So it's like this channel of water is electrified so that no fish can go through into a lake.
And I actually went to that lake to film the fish jump out of the water in slow-mo as a part of
Did you actually?
Planet Slow-mo. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And Dan, like one fish leaped out of the water and just hit Dan in the head.
It's in Chicago, right? Chicago area?
Somewhere in that
Or
area,
something?
yeah. It's like leading up to one of the Great Lakes, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Or like somewhere around
I
that
feel
area.
like Dan is always the subject of something like really unfortunate happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he's always like, I don't know, gets hit by something that he shouldn't, or like slips on something that he shouldn't.
Yeah, it's like handcrafted unfortunateness
Yeah. It's great though.
filmed in slow-mo.
Yeah, that's a good talent to have when you're filming in slow motion. You need someone like that.
Well, it all started with like the soccer ball, right? That you threw into his face, like in one of your first videos.
Yeah.
Like weighted soccer ball, right?
Yeah, because he lost some dumb challenge we were doing.
Doom.
And that made him lose every video for the rest of time.
Yeah. Set him up for success.
Like Gavin mentioned, we are pre-recorded. We're not live today. It's Labor Day, or the day that this is coming out. So if anything majorly news happened in the first couple days of September, the reason we're not talking about it is it hasn't happened yet for us.
Yes. Today is the last day of August.
Yes.
That we
What are your
recording this.
predictions for major news?
The Artemis is going to successfully launch on Saturday.
Ooh.
I hope so.
Is that the one carrying people to the moon
No.
or going to the
It's
moon?
It will.
unmanned.
This one's unmanned. It's
This-
like their test.
It feels like we perfected this technology. Like, why are we backtrack? Like, what did we lose?
Well, the thing is, we did perfect it, and then all those people. Then we stopped doing it. all those people got old and either died or retired, and no one remembers how to build those rockets anymore.
And it was all analog, like it was
Right.
all on 8-track that we went to the fucking
No record
moon.
of it.
No, it's
no
like
one wrote it down.
they did, but then it's like the stuff that gets lost to time. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we've got it. Where is it? I don't know.
It's like how
cabinets.
it's like how there's no movies from the silent era,
Yeah.
or only like 5% are still around.
You know, Trevor was there
I
for the
know.
launch. So Trevor got to go down to Orlando to the Kennedy Space Center to be at NASA and like meet people
Yeah.
and see different things and stuff. It was like a really cool experience. And like part of it was also getting like special access for the Artemis launch. And we were looking at the weather before we were supposed to go, and it had thunderstorms every single day in Orlando. And he was like, oh, I don't like, maybe I shouldn't go. And we were talking about it a little bit, and he's like, no, I'd rather go and it not happen than not go and it does happen.
Yeah.
And then like blah, blah, blah. And of course it didn't end up happening because of like an engine issue. I
Right.
think like there was a leak or something. But because he was like with this group that had to like meet at a certain place and get shuttled to a certain location, he had to wake up at midnight.
Wake up at midnight.
So he could drive to a location, get there by 1 a.m. And so a bus could then take them to another spot by like 2 a.m. or something like that. And then they just like sat around for 7 hours.
Oh my god.
Was that like
Yeah.
security or something?
I
Or
think it's just because they had so many people
Yeah.
on this thing. So I had to like get everyone and make sure like they had everything organized. And I didn't.
I like to picture he gets there, like busts there at 2 a.m. Then he busts out like a little sleep mask, and it's like, this is where I'm going to sleep like the next 7 hours. And Trevor just like powers down there.
Yeah. I mean, he said he was basically like, we were as close as you could be to it. Like, we were the closest people to the actual rocket who weren't NASA employees.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking cool.
It's a shame they weren't able to launch. That would have
I
been so cool
know.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, to like feel the rumble would be so sweet.
Yeah.
I also
Japan
imagine
blown
for
back.
Trevor, it's like looking into an alternate universe he could have been a part of since he like studied aerospace engineering and like wanted to go into that field.
Yeah.
He just sees like a clone of himself in a lab coat walking by. He's like, that's me.
That's me.
That could have been.
Trevor Trollins.
Wait, he could have done that, and he's at Rooster Teeth.
He's an
Damn.
aerospace engineer. Yeah.
That's damn. See, I say journalism. This is like a come up.
Yeah.
Like, I know comics who are like, yeah, I was an engineer, but I quit to do stand up. Like, that's a
Why?
bad decision.
It's like how Ken Jeong to this day insists on being called Dr. Ken, just so
Yeah.
you can be reminded that he was a doctor.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. That's like your whole thing.
Yeah, like the dudes who are working in call centers, I get it. Like, yeah, but like if you had a real job, why? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can't be that upset about it because that's how I met him, is him working at Rooster Teeth.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, no,
like,
it
oh,
worked.
you didn't go into this field.
It worked out great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like he's in broadcast or anything, like just slaving away. Yeah. I'm one of those guys. I can say that.
Say this entire team of
The,
people.
the whole room here.
Broadcast rocks, dude. I don't know.
But yeah, I think this Artemis launch is supposed to be unmanned. They're going to fly it around the moon and back. And I think it lands it comes back after like 45 or 60
So it
days.
doesn't
or
actually
something.
land on the moon?
No. And then
I think it's going to take like some photos and stuff too. And like,
right. Like they have like mannequins in it, like sensors on them to determine like the forces on people to make sure it's safe.
And
before they
The
put-
dummies like the
Snoopy.
crash test.
What's that?
Snoopy as well.
They have Snoopy in there?
Snoopy is like the official like crew member of the Artemis.
That's a
one.
big get.
Yeah.
That's a big get. How'd they get Snoopy on board for that?
I don't know.
He only flies biplanes. They're going to put him in a fucking rocket?
Hey, he's upgraded, Gus.
He flies a Sopwith camel against the Red Baron. I mean, it's kind of a step up.
I think it was gonna be. It's like a doll or something.
Is
like
this
that. Like a
like-
stuffed animal?
Is this a government thing or is this like some SpaceX? Like
No, it's NASA.
NASA.
Okay.
I think the capsule might be SpaceX designed and provided, but the rocket itself is NASA.
NASA and SpaceX have both individually contacted me to film a launch in slow-mo. And every time it gets to the point where they're like, you have an American passport, right? And I'm like, no. And they're like,
But that shouldn't matter because you have isn't a green card good enough?
probably for
it is not.
It's probably for
It says that.
security clearance.
And you're not from like an enemy country or so. You're like from the Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. Like,
Well, the little
Brian,
brother
can you
now.
name some enemy countries?
you know, like if you were like from fucking North Korea or
Yeah.
something, I could be like, yeah, maybe we're not gonna give that to him.
Maybe
like, I
Russia.
feel like England knows our shit. Like they've been through our diary.
Well,
And,
now I'm
like,
scared. Like, would I be able to go? Because I don't have an American pass. I'm still Canadian.
I don't know. I
With
do
a
know
green
some
card.
people who aren't Americans who have gone,
I'm
but
still Canadian.
it was they basically. I think there's ways to do it, but neither of the people that contacted me could be bothered to go through that process
Noted.
for me.
They're like, we don't want it that much.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a pain in the ass. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the next launch after this one, if everything goes well, will have people, but they won't land. They're just going to circle the moon. And then I think the launch after that.
We really are retrace it. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
having to start over from scratch.
Well,
They're
isn't-
just gonna Apollo 13 it and come home, except without all the explosions.
Hopefully
and stuff.
without that. Yeah.
Isn't like the purpose of it basically to see if life would be sustainable potentially on the moon? Like to
Yeah, they want to start like a station that like orbits the moon and
What-
people living on the moon for stretches at a time.
How close to the moon can you stay in orbit?
2. I don't know, dude.
Because I'm thinking, why
Feels
don't they
like
just
something.
save a bit of fuel and just go as low as possible for an orbit, and then just have a ladder?
Oh, and just like kind of like somebody jumps off and runs across for a
But it'd be-
few miles.
No, you just climb down to the moon.
but
know.
wouldn't it be like going around it?
Yeah, you gotta like get on when it's coming by.
So is it like when you're like trying to jump onto like a train that's
Yeah.
moving slowly?
Just grab the ladder as it
Yeah.
goes over.
So low lunar orbit is orbit below 100 kilometers or 62 miles in altitude. So that's a pretty...
Still pretty high up
62
there.
mile
Yeah.
ladder.
If I
that
had-
might be a problem.
I had a nickel for every time Gavin proposed something involving a planet and a ladder or some type of long rope or some type of impossible physics.
Yeah, I think one of my solutions for flights was just go to space, wait, and come down, and
Yeah.
then you don't need to fly anywhere.
I've heard proposals like that now.
There's like space elevator sci-fi stuff.
But wasn't there a whole
had
thing
me
of like if you had like a rope long enough to the moon or something
Oh,
like
lasso
that?
the moon?
Lasso the moon. I forget what, and you like pull it closer. I don't remember.
I always felt like, you know, when like elevator cables snap and you fall, you know, and it plunges and everyone dies. I, for years, thought you could just jump at the
At the last
point of
second.
impact and you'd be fine.
I mean, it would take off like 1 mile an hour, maybe, would it? Off like
Yeah,
125
something.
miles.
Like you might, it wouldn't hurt. I guess.
The rest of it would hurt, but that wouldn't.
When I worked at the call center's owner's brother ran an elevator repair place here in Austin. And sometimes when he was having tech problems, the owner of the call center would send me to help his brother, like hook up a computer to an elevator or like diagnose, troubleshoot some problem.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working with him at an elevator here in town somewhere. And, you know, we're sitting there and I'm waiting for the computer to boot up and run all these diagnostics. And I say, so, you know, you fix elevators. Are you ever afraid of like an elevator falling? He goes, oh, no, you don't have to worry about that. So the brakes always work. They'll always catch you. They'll stop you from falling. So the thing you need to worry about is the elevator shooting out of the shaft up at the top of the building.
Huh?
And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, the brakes stop you from going down, but if the counterweights go free and start pulling, they'll just shoot the elevator up through
Like
up
the
through
end of
top.
Willy Wonka. Right. That's awesome. That's tight. Then you get your wishes or whatever.
Then you get a chocolate factory.
Surely that won't be. What would happen then? Like it would shoot at the top of the building, but wouldn't it
And
just
then
like?
you're flying over Germany.
Would it not just like crash?
It'd crash
into
You're like
the
a
ceiling?
champagne. You like champagne cork it out of the building.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of falling and hitting the ground. You like go up and
Would
hit
it
the
pop
ceiling.
up, or would it just like? I mean,
Depends how much force.
Or, like, how strong the roof
ceiling.
is.
Right.
And open elevator shafts.
new fear unlocked.
Like people always fall into them.
Yeah.
Not always, but you know, like every few years.
Yeah.
I've never seen a video. I want to see a video of this.
I saw an awful video one time of like a housekeeper at a hotel in New York do that, where like she was pulling her cart to the elevator. She heard the doors open behind her, and she was
no.
stepping backwards into it. And the doors had opened, but the elevator wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then she just like falls into the shaft. I'm surprised you've never seen this.
Oh yeah,
Eric.
there's
It's
one
fucking
in
awful.
like China or somewhere where somebody's on a scooter and they're trying to bang their way, like the elevator's closed, but they're trying to force it, and then they finally get the doors up, but there's nothing, and they just
go down.
and then that's it. Yeah.
damn.
Awful.
I saw a video of a girl. I think it was like her apartment complex. She dropped her keys down that little like crack between the elevator door. And she called like maintenance, and they said it was going to be $500 for them to get it for her. And so she was like, fuck that. And her and her friend just like finagled this whole like wire hanger thing and ended up finding like other people's keys in the process. I guess other people had dropped them down. But like, that's such bullshit. To charge someone $500 to help them get their keys.
It's like you just don't want to.
Right,
You
exactly.
don't
You don't
want
wanna go through the
to
trouble.
do that.
I think I've mentioned this years ago on the podcast, but something similar happened to me once. I was drunk at
I love this
BlizzCon.
story.
And I was at my hotel, and I was in the lobby. I was going up to my room, and the elevator doors opened. I pulled my wallet out to get my hotel room key. I pulled out my key, but I dropped my wallet. It was a trifold wallet. It hit the ground, folded up into the trifold, and then spun in the air, and then went straight down there.
Oh, like perfect. Like perfect.
Like it lined
a
up
cartoon.
and went straight down. I was like, well, that sucks. And I went to the front desk, and similar thing. They were like, oh, yeah, well, we need to call, I was like, can you just send someone down there? They're like, oh, no, we need to call the elevator company. I was like, no, it just went like straight down. Could you just send someone to get it?
Yeah.
Like, no, we need to call the elevator company, and we're going to charge you the service call fee. I was like, well, one, that's kind of bullshit. I was like, can't you just let me down there? I'll just go down there and get it.
Lower me down. Yeah, or show me the door.
Yeah, just
to
get the
bottom,
winch.
Like,
Right.
Yeah, like surely there's a passageway or something.
Yeah,
you can
eventually
go
they
into.
got it back and they gave it to me.
Did
They
you
didn't,
also say
they didn't
that
charge me.
the people in the lift, like as the doors close, were just like,
Everyone just like looks down and looks up. Like, great. Fucking great.
I think I've told the story before too, and I think Gavin, you were there for this. It was like the first month or something I was in Austin, maybe like, I guess the first couple months because you were here too at that point. And we were eating at a restaurant, like some Mexican restaurant, and we all gave like our credit cards, and I had just gotten a new credit card because when I moved here, I had like no American bank account, nothing like that, and I was so happy I finally had my first credit card. And the waitress was bringing all the cards and checks back on like a little tray. And she like was leaning over and giving them. And one of the cards fell off the tray and went straight through the floorboards. It was like an outdoor patio. But the floorboards went to like an abyss.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to get under
Right.
there. And she was like, oh no, like someone's card. And I was like, I bet you it's fucking mine. I bet you. And she's like giving it back. She's like, Michael, Lindsay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so who's missing? And I was like, that would be me. I got my meal for free, which was
so you
nice.
had to wait, but you had to wait to see whose it was. It's
Yeah.
like the fucking lottery. Yeah.
And that's why they're sending the Artemis to the far side of the moon to find Barbara's credit card and bring it back. Snoopy's going to do an extra he's going to leave the
Snoopy!
capsule. He's going to go out into space and get you your credit card back.
Yep. Nothing more fun than that. I wonder if I ever canceled that card. I don't know if I did.
Have you
I think
ever?
it was like a Trudy's or something like that.
do you think it's still under there?
Probably.
Gotta
I feel we should get it.
It's gotta be.
Like Mission Impossible style, go in the middle of the night, tear up one of the
Yeah,
boards.
you know, like a pry bar and
Hey, 11 years ago, I dropped a card.
I'm sure it's still there, like plastic or what. Or
Yeah,
maybe the wind
probably.
blew it, Yeah.
Because it's it was like an outdoor patio that is like completely like, I don't know how to describe it, but the wood basically goes all the way down to the ground.
It's like up on stilts or something.
Yeah, but it's like completely covered in. So I don't know. It's probably, or maybe like a squirrel took it
Yeah.
for its nest.
It's ordering so much shit on like nuts.com saw like a spike in their Q3. Like,
Is nuts.com a real site?
yeah.
And is it PG?
No, yeah, they sell nuts online.
Really?
Yeah. I see so I see their TV commercials every now and then, and it drives me crazy because they're like, nuts.com since 1908. Like, how the fuck have you had a .com business since 1908? This doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Did
they
anyone-
have free shipping at $29.
That's like Nintendo saying they've been around since the 1800s selling cars. It's
Right.
like, you know what we mean, Nintendo.
Come
When
on.
did y'all start making video games?
Right.
Nuts.com. It's real.
They didn't sponsor us. Don't go there. Pay me nuts.com. Make that the title. Pay me
Pay me nuts.com.
Pay
do
me
you think
in nuts.
any company successfully guessed .com in their name?
Like a
Like
company
pre.com?
like a company just called itself something.com.
Yeah. You know, like how sometimes a product gets invented and there's already like the URL taken by some obscure company, but even like predating URLs.
Oh man, I don't know. Like I just can't picture the use case where someone would make something and then call it .com at the end.
Yeah.
What does com stand for?
I think initially I think it meant like
Commercial, I
commercial.
think,
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I know www is World Wide Web, obviously. But
Commies. That's right, Eric.
I always see these videos of people quizzing Gen Zers on like things that for us is like basic knowledge, like what does www stand for? and people just have no idea. It's crazy how much stuff you just like don't even register because it's so common.
That's why we're having to go back to the moon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All
With
the Nazis
Snoopy.
who helped us the first time are dead. So no more World War II Nazis to build a rocket. Got to start over from scratch.
Was that? Were those all Nazis? who built our-
Absolutely, Werner von
all-
Braun and all of those guys.
Oh yeah, I watched October Sky. He seemed really nice in that. He didn't seem like you would think.
He made the V1 rocket, and then he became American and helped build a Saturn V.
Oof. Man, they really glossed over that part.
You kind of.
It was more about Jake Gyllenhaal not wanting to work in the coal mine. As I recall, he wanted to make rockets.
Oh yeah, there's a very problematic history with the space program.
Man, well, I guess we were in the space race and had to. Man, but talk about. Yeah, geez.
Well, that's
some
like
corners.
That was like the whole race to Berlin at the end of World War II between the Soviet Union and like the United States. Was like who's going to get all the scientists and who's going to get all the technology. That's why like everyone was racing through Germany to try to carve up as much of it as they could, leading to the Cold War. That way they was like, all right, now we're enemies, and now I got this, you got that, go.
My grandfather was in that. He was in France. He was like Army infantry, and he was involved in that shit. But
really?
he like didn't talk about it. So it's like you knew it was bad. Like he didn't really. He was like, it wasn't great.
Kind of glossed over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that stuff's crazy. I was watching the other, like I'm so starved for like watching new content. The other day I was like flipping through Netflix. I was like scrolling forever, and there was like some documentary about Pearl Harbor. I was like, all right, fine. I put it on. It's not like I don't know, I like World War II stuff.
You were in the mood for that?
Yeah, why not? And so I was watching it, and I feel like you've heard the story a million times, but there's like they're interviewing people.
Pearl
like,
Harbor, yeah,
they're interviewing people who were there. Like, they're like some cool stuff that I'd never heard before. And then like the documentary only touched on this very briefly, and then moved on. But it was something I'd never thought about. They're like, as the Japanese were attacking the United States, started firing back like anti-aircraft and shells and guns and everything. And a lot of those shells ended up landing in civilian areas on the island, killing civilians who were just like out and about. Like 42 civilians died because of quote unquote friendly fire. Like bullets just landing back on like on Honolulu.
Jeez.
Because of that.
It's like at UT, the tower shooter. When he started shooting, all the people on the ground got their own guns and started shooting back up. So it was hard to go like take him down, or they were trying to kind of fly over and stuff, but there was so much gunfire from the ground that I guess that's not a perfect comparison.
No,
It's like bullets going over the top and like...
Yeah. Yeah, we were just shooting each other. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that bullet? I think it's from the Battle of Tripoli, maybe? Where it's like the two bullets and one has hit the other.
No.
It's like
They're like stuck through each other.
Yeah, they're like stuck through each
That's
other.
That actually happened?
Yeah,
Holy
like
shit.
one bullet was flying through the air and another bullet came and intercepted it, and like someone found it after the battle was over. It's like, what are the fucking odds that like one bullet hit another bullet in
I
flight?
guess if a bunch were flying around.
Yeah. Probably pretty long
happen.
odds or you'd see it all the time.
Yeah.
That's why it was so big. I feel like Pearl Harbor was a bad move by Japan, now that I think about it.
Why do you say that?
Hot
It's
take.
kind of like,
Hot
okay,
take.
damn. All right, but hear me out. Like, they got a good lick in, but it's kind of like an Elden Ring when you see a boss that you know is too big for you to handle. Like, this big, like, I've run too far ahead, and there's this dragon. I'm going to go try. And you get, like, one good lick in, and then he wakes up, and you're just like, and he just rinses you. I feel like that's what I don't know. It just seems like a dumb move.
I think the thought was that they could set the United States far enough behind that they would then be able to like do a bunch of shit in the Pacific Ocean, and that the United States would be like, oh well, nothing we can do about this.
And like they've gotten too big at that point.
Kind of give
for
up,
us too.
and the United States would kind of give up. But the United States turned into like one giant factory in World War II.
Yeah,
like, the amount of stuff that this country made for a war is like mind blowing. Like if you think about like the
when you
sheer
do what
number of planes.
you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah, the military industrial complex woke up.
Wait, we get to go to war and be racist? Like, woo! Let's go! Just instantly, like within like by nightfall, we were just.
I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, if that were the opportunity they were given, they would take it.
What?
in this country.
Like-
Opportunity to go to war and be racist.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
like-
it's the wheelhouse. That's just
People
a pitch
chopping
right
it
over
in.
the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
That's just
Throughout all of World War II, Germany built about 119,000 planes.
okay.
In 1944 alone, the United States built 96,000 planes.
Jesus.
Like in 1 year, they built almost as much as Germany did in the entire war. That is
America.
that is so many fucking. Like, I think they built more than every other country added up together. It looks like.
Did you
not
ever
quite.
and did you ever look up like, or have you ever? This sounds like something you might have also looked up, but like what it would take to invade mainland United States?
That would be nuts.
Like no other country has that capability to like fly enough troops over without us spotting it and then just blowing. Like it's just impossible.
Even in Risk, like you play Risk and you're like, man, invading the United States sucks. They're so far away.
What does it take to actually start an invasion? Like, could I just walk through immigration and be like, why are you coming? Why are you coming to the US? And I'm like, I'm invading.
Invasion.
Like, what
Yeah,
do I?
but
What do
they
I
arrest
need?
you though. Like that's a failed invasion. They're like,
Reason for entry: invasion.
reason for entry, coup.
Just being like brutally honest with the.
Violent revolution or violent.
We're not going to allow you in today.
Yeah.
Aw.
You get put in that little like cell area. Like they set you off to like, we're gonna need to see you. We need to talk to you in a private room.
We need secondary screening on this.
Yeah.
That'd be a funny.
Like, oh, you need to fill out this form. Do you have a U.S. passport? Oh.
Bad.
A
well,
green card.
Today's episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is sponsored by MeUndies. We've all heard of gut instinct, but have you ever heard of butt instinct? It's when your butt tells you it wants new undies. Well, guess what? You should listen to your butt. Luckily, we work with MeUndies, makers of the most buttery, soft, and sustainable undies, bralettes, and socks that exist. If you've never tried them before, it's a great time to start because they're currently offering their best deal in years. You get 20% off your first purchase, free standard shipping, and free returns when you go to MeUndies.com/roosterteeth. You know how I feel about MeUndies. Been talking about them for years. Love the fit, love the patterns, love the company. I'm a MeUndies guy, clearly. I would show you, but I'm sitting on them right now. What do I have? I think I have like green zigzag ones right now. Take my word for it anyway. Best underwear in the game, hands down. I almost wore the sushi once today, but I changed at the last second. I don't know why. Anyway, let your skin sing a song of joy with undies, socks, and bralettes that feel as if they're spun from silken clouds. Guaranteed to be the softest stuff you've ever felt in your life. Their signature micro-modal fabric is sustainable, breathable, and as stretchy as heck. There are new colors and prints dropping weekly, so there's always something exciting to check out. Each pair is available in sizes from extra small to 4XL. I'm going to get with them. We're going to find out if they have an extra medium or not. They even have free to join membership where you get free shipping on every order and exclusive perks like an item shipped to your door every month, secret sales, and early access to their newest stuff. To get 20% off your first order, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/roosterteeth. That's MeUndies.com/roosterteeth. Thanks, MeUndies. This episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Making websites on your own is hard. There's many awful website building platforms out there with limited features that make ugly, poorly optimized sites. Lucky for you, Squarespace is the go-to all-in-one platform to build beautiful online presences or run your business. Doesn't matter if you're a small business, a content creator, or anything in between. Squarespace seriously has everything you can need to build a website that suits your needs. To name just a few of the features, they got member areas. You can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content. Every Squarespace website is embedded with SEO tools to help maximize prominence among search results, and all Squarespace sites are optimized for mobile, so their content looks great whether you're on your laptop, phone, tablet. Looks good. You've heard me talk about Squarespace for a long time. I appreciate how super simple to use everything is. Just point and click, no coding required. With their great templates, you get up and running in no time. I love it. I think you should give it a try. The bottom line is this: after you've poured so much time into launching a brand or starting a company, making a website shouldn't be the hardest part of the process. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/roosterteeth to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Today's episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by DoorDash. Why is deciding what you want to eat one of the hardest parts of the day? Maybe you want a home-cooked favorite, but don't feel like going to the store after a long day of meetings, errands, and chores. Or you want something exciting and new, but you'd rather stay in and catch up on your favorite show. Thankfully, DoorDash connects you with everything you want, whenever and however you want it. It's not just restaurants. You can even get groceries and other essential items delivered with DoorDash in under an hour. With over 300,000 partners, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, Cheesecake Factory. I love ordering from Chipotle as much as the next guy, but the selection of local restaurants is a real game changer. Austin listeners will probably have heard of Bird Biscuit, local spot that makes insanely good breakfast sandwiches. Even they are on DoorDash. I got some actually the other day for myself and Chris on DoorDash. It was really good. With DoorDash, you're not just... Why did I buy Chris lunch? Maybe he owes me lunch. With DoorDash, you're not just getting the things you love, but supporting the community you love too. From the stores and restaurants to Dashers driving around, each purchase provides a new opportunity for everyone involved, because with DoorDash, there's a neighborhood of good in every order. For a limited time, you get 25% off your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code Rooster. That's 25% off up to $10 in value off your first order when you download the DoorDash app. In the App Store, enter code Rooster. Don't forget, that's code Rooster for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply. Oh, man.
Do you think you're ever going to get your citizenship? I'm sure people ask you that all the time, but...
No, I don't see the point.
Yeah, I don't know. The only advantage I could think of is being able to go film a rocket.
Or being able to vote
Being able to,
is a big one, but also,
And I'm also
the
like
permanency.
at jury duty and all that shit.
Oh, right.
It's not that big.
It's not that.
I'm
yeah.
44. I've been called for jury duty once.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not 44, you fucking
zero
liar.
is
I'm 46. Well, I'm just saying it gets even better.
Yeah.
Look into the future. It was, and I was just like said obvious stuff to get myself disqualified. They were like, "Can you be impartial in this?" And I was like, "No," because I was like, I had to work. Like I was like busy with something at work, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't." And they're like, "Okay, well then you can go."
It is such an interesting process to me.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of like picking a bunch of random people to make a decision about the future of someone's life.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the fairest way, I guess.
Yeah, but it gets so rigged.
But
like,
it's just strange that it's like, these people aren't experts. Like, yeah, they
Right.
could hear evidence and hear like both sides and all that stuff and everything that, the lawyers have to present. But like,
yeah.
they're making the decision.
also, who are these people that get agreed upon, right? It's like, well,
Right.
we don't want anyone too smart. We don't want anyone too dumb. It's like,
Or too biased on either side.
right, it's like
There's a really, really old joke of you never want to put your future in the hands of 12 people who are too stupid to get out of jury duty.
Oh, wow. That's
yep.
a good way of thinking about it.
The old joke.
Yeah, I feel like the green card is easier to get rid of than citizenship. Like if I want to move somewhere else eventually,
Yeah.
I can just let it expire. Whereas,
Yeah.
or I could just, but like renouncing citizenship seems like a thing.
Would you even have to renounce
Well, I mean, I'd have to pay
Yeah.
U.S. taxes.
taxes.
See, for what I did in Canada, I just had to become a non-resident. So that you just have to prove that you have no property, no bank accounts, and stuff like that.
Right, yeah, I think you can do something similar in the United States. Like if you're living and making your money overseas, you still have to file, but you just have to prove that you lived and earned your money overseas. But there's a threshold. Like once you earn over a certain threshold, then they're going to start dipping into that.
If you want to, I would just recommend just stay in the country you were born in, unless you really love paper.
Gavin hates immigration. You heard it here, breaking on the Rooster Teeth podcast. Gavin said, "Stay in your own country."
No.
Didn't you tweet a big stack of like this was a year
Yeah,
or so
it
ago of
was-
all the stuff you had to fill? Yeah.
Yeah,
Was this for like when you first moved here?
yeah, to renew my
Visa?
visa 1 year, and then
Oh.
the green card was like even bigger. It's just a lot of inconvenience.
Yeah.
I think
That is a
it's
little
smart. Yeah, don't go for full citizenship yet. Maybe wait till give it another few years
Yeah,
and
maybe
see
another
how
40
things
over
pan out here.
Yeah.
And, just
I'm only
We may
kidding,
be
by the
having
way.
new passports for new parts of the country.
yeah,
We don't know.
just hedge your bets. Yeah.
And I'm only kidding. You should follow your dreams. Chances are you probably weren't born in the right place anyway. Go and find where that is.
What are the odds you're born in the right place?
Very slim.
It's a big world.
Yeah. If you could live anywhere, like without having to go through the paperwork and citizenship stuff, blah, 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 where do you think you'd pick?
Oh man.
Man, I don't know. Not Texas.
It's
Not
tough.
so hot.
It's tough because you
definitely.
want to be in a good place, but you also don't want to be so far away from everyone you know.
I don't
like,
know. Maybe.
I guess it depends on the person. Because like New Zealand sounds pretty cool,
New Zealand's pretty awesome.
but so does like Switzerland or Sweden. Like those places seem like really comfortable places to live.
Yeah.
I would try Canada.
Yeah. Well, if you need some help, I'll see what my sister-in-law did.
I would probably go Ireland because still English speaking, so I could do stand up.
Yeah.
And I would be a tiny bit exotic because I'm American, and I could get so like just a little bit. But I look just like them. I could
Yeah,
blend
you would fit in super well, like in the corner of an Irish pub with a Guinness. You would
Yeah,
look right at home.
right. Like I'd be the American, Brian the American over there.
Brian
It'd
the
be great.
American.
It would be
You'd
fucking
be the character.
Yeah. And then I got a show here. I'm actually emceeing later before karaoke, and they would be like, "Great, we'll stick around."
Yeah.
I like the idea that you'd like in this dream world of picking any country to live in, you'd still be doing stand up.
Yeah,
Love it
He's
that
living his
much.
dream.
Yeah.
yeah,
I love
because
it.
I do because I agree with you about like New Zealand and stuff and like beautiful and everything, but I would still want to do sets somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they got places there too. But I'm
Probably.
not crazy about the accents down there. I don't
In New
love
Zealand?
New Zealand?
Australian and New Zealand. I don't.
But you like the
Oh,
Irish
I love
one.
them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's cool.
New Zealand's just a bit far from everything.
Yeah.
That's what's great
the
about
problem.
It's great if you're like not busy.
it. Or if you're antisocial,
Hey,
an introvert.
I'm introverted, but I still like having the option to be,
Me too.
to do
Yep.
something.
Me too.
That's where that gets me.
There's still like a couple of big cities in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Auckland and Wellington, Christchurch to a lesser degree, to a much lesser degree. Fly over to
How
Australia.
populated? Like, what's the biggest city in New
Auckland.
Zealand? Is that
Probably
like
Auckland.
1 million people? Like, what
I
are we
think
talking
Auckland's
about?
around 1 million. Let's see.
Okay.
Auckland.
It's funny. I
decent.
saw a friend of mine from Australia. She like posted something a while back, being like, a lot of my American friends are always talking about like, I'm scared to go to Australia because of like all the spiders and animals that could
Yeah.
kill you and stuff like that. Whereas my Australian friends are afraid to come to America because of gun violence and like the mass shootings that are happening here. And it's like, wow, that's a lot of things that could kill you in all countries.
Those spiders are scary, though.
Yeah.
Like, whenever they post, that is scary. That is still more scary to me.
Do not
than
let those
guns.
spiders into our country because then they'll have guns.
Yeah,
And they
thank
have 8
you.
legs and they can they can hold a ton of guns.
Oh my
8
God!
assault rifles.
When the Australian spiders come, I'm going to be like, I'm so sorry what I said about y'all's accents. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I said that on the pod. You know how they edit things to make you look bad.
So apparently Auckland is about 1.5 million people.
Wow.
Wellington's only about 212,000. Christchurch is bigger, 381,000.
Oh wow.
I thought Christchurch was smaller than Wellington.
What a name, Christchurch.
That's some colonial ass shit, isn't it? Yeah.
There's a lot of Christ churches around the world.
Are there? Yeah. Oh, Christchurches, not towns called Christchurch.
No, it's like places called Christ Church.
I've been watching these.
It's like Springfield or something.
Yeah.
Just like one in every state. I've been watching these YouTubers named Kara and Nate. They're like travel vloggers.
Yeah.
And right now they're putting out a series of videos. They went on a cruise ship to the North Pole. And it's like a 7-day boat trip that takes you up there. And then you like stay on the pole for like a day or two and then they like come back.
Were they bummed that there's no actual pole?
Well, the captain
That
like
answered my
basically was trying to like angle the ship and like back up and like get perfectly on like the center
Just
of
on the top of the world?
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not like a queue for that. Like a line. with
Like
other
on
ships,
Mount Everest.
Yeah, like,
There's a
like, well, let's park on the pole and there's just like 7 ships behind.
Right.
Is that some shit that we're only able to do because of climate change now? Or like,
Oh,
I'm
I
sure it
don't
doesn't
know.
hurt.
yeah, sure. well,
It's
that's
like
good point.
a very like the boat is like really intense and like crashes through all the like the ice. and stuff
Oh, like
that.
an icebreaker ship. or
Yeah.
so- Oh, we should do some of that. We should do that for Ship It's the Fan. That's interesting.
Yeah, you should. You should go on a cruise for that podcast.
Oh, we have talked about that. And if we are more successful, yes, we will definitely.
yeah, well, I'll
do
send you
that.
a link to this series.
Cool,
It's
yeah,
really
that
fun
would
to
be-
watch.
I'm looking at it right now. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
And they did like the polar plunge up there, which is like jumping into the water.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I can't imagine. You're literally on the top of the world, jumping into the ocean that's like, below freezing.
Can you imagine if you're like, your cruise ship is positioned directly on top of the North Pole and you run to the bathroom and take a dump, and it's like you took a dump directly onto the world, on top of
Shot in
the
the
world. You just took a shit on Earth.
And it just like filtered down.
Yeah.
I feel
it-
like that'd be
They
so
made
cool to do though.
4 videos out of this going up to the North Pole.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, I
they're
think
really
they have one
stretching
more.
it.
Is it harder to get to that pole or the South Pole?
I think that's
They also the same couple went to Antarctica as well, a while ago. But I don't know about what's harder.
I think
though.
it's harder to get down to the
South
South Pole because
More land.
yeah, there's
to
a
go
lot more
across.
land. You can't just like get on a boat and get there. You got to like
Next, they should
Fly
go
or get
to.
them.
They
Yeah.
should just split up, do one each,
Yeah.
and just have the sandwich.
or each of them take
such a long journey.
a
piece
slice
of
of bread
bread.
and
Yeah.
make an Earth sandwich at
There
the
you go.
poles.
Trevor and I did that when he was in Australia for that Let's Play Live tour you guys did a while ago. where he was like, "All right, put the bread down now. I'm doing it too." And we took a picture. We were making a sandwich.
Was it from the same loaf?
No.
Doesn't count.
To make a proper sandwich, you use some bread from the same
Who
loaf.
uses 2 different loaves of bread for a sandwich?
Well, if maybe it's the last piece of bread in one loaf and
Nope.
a new piece of bread in a new
Needs to
loaf.
be the same brand then.
Now I want to make a sandwich to eat at home from 2 different loaves of bread. Because
Yeah.
I've never done that, and now I feel like I need to do that.
It would be better, surely, because you get different flavors.
Right.
Different flavors and textures.
I like this. What's his name? Carl Pilkington one time said one of the dumbest and funniest things I've ever heard. It was on that podcast with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant.
Yep.
We said, speaking of Australia, that all the scary spiders live in Australia because you know how spiders like to hide under rocks?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Earth is one giant rock and Australia is at the bottom. So it's like the bottom side of the rock. That's where all the scary spiders and insects and everything live. I was like, that was really somehow at the same time super funny and super stupid to me
Yeah.
simultaneously.
It's wrong, but there's logic to it. in a
Right.
way.
It's like, okay, I see why you got there, but I don't agree with you, but it's really funny. I sent Gavin this video last week or the week before of, speaking of planes a little while ago, of, I guess someone had captured like slow-mo, like 1,000 frames per second footage of this F-22 fighter plane
Oh, it's so cool.
flying around. It looks super cool. But then it got me wondering. It's like, that we were like digging into it. It's like, well, it costs $68,000 an hour to fly this plane, and they're filming at 1,000 frames a second. So it's like if you filmed it the entire time it was flying, each frame of footage costs about 2 cents.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine a counter for 2 cents going up 1,000 times every second. You're like,
Yeah,
turn it off. Land the plane.
Land.
it's like you gotta hope you get the shot on the first try. But it looked really cool watching it like fly around and vector around at like 1,000 frames a second.
Must have been really difficult to get those shots, especially the tight ones, just
Yeah.
because you're in a helicopter and the jet's like, you got like a slight delay between your monitor and what you're actually seeing. That's what I struggle with the most in shooting Phantom is if I'm tracking something. The refresh rate of the monitor, like receiving images from the camera, is behind where I need to be. So I need to like lead stuff. And that'd be extra difficult on a plane that's not like...
I never knew that was the case with
It's probably
Phantom.
minuscule too. It's probably only like a couple milliseconds, but it's
Yeah.
when you're dealing with
Yeah, there's been
high
times...
speed, it adds up.
I discovered this like ages ago when I was trying to film like a bow and arrow, shoot across the frame from left to right, is that I could never see it. But if I just looked at the arrow with my eye and just went like that, I would get the shot. If I was looking through the monitor, I would never get it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's wild. There isn't like some kind of jib arm with like that software assisted that helps track now at this point.
Yeah, they
just
can do
follow
that
the
with
motion. Yeah.
If it's too fast for a camera to physically pan, like it's like we did this with tank shells. You just film into a mirror and the mirror goes bloop,
Oh.
and the mirror can track it based on like it will see the object pass a point and then it will pass the second point, calculate the speed, and then the mirror will be just perfectly track it.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah, it's cool tech.
Do you need like a special highly reflective mirror? Because I know like different mirrors have different amounts of light that they reflect. Like, do you need like a special mirror that reflects more light than like a typical bathroom? Because like a bathroom mirror only reflects like 40% light.
Yeah, and also a bathroom mirror, the reflective surface is behind glass. And
Right.
you need like a front silvered mirror. I think the entire tracking system with the mirror, which was about this big, was like 170 grand.
There it is. Okay, that's kind of what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Whoa. How much is the Phantom's like $250,000 or something like that? Something insane.
Yeah, the fastest camera is like close to 300.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck. The slow motion camera? Damn.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, if it's that specialized.
That's why I rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like a piece of technology that they're selling to every consumer in the United States.
Right.
Like,
It's very specialized.
right. We're gonna make several of these and sell them.
They actually don't make any. They don't have one. Like they have a demo unit, but they never just have one ready to go. Like if you order a Phantom, it's like
They
okay,
build it?
we'll build one,
Yeah.
and it'll be ready in a few months.
Yeah. I would do the same thing and rent. Borrow this and then give it back.
What's funny is I've been renting this like it's called the TMX, like the super fast one that's like really really expensive. And I assume they had like a few rental units, but it's really just one demo unit. And every time I get it, all of my presets are still on it. Like, all the
So
little,
you're
like-
the only one renting it, probably.
Well, I'm the only one like making presets and stuff.
Oh, okay.
For like frame rate and
I thought it was just gonna be like the exact same as when you like dropped it off, and it's the same when you pick it up.
yeah,
Like,
no one
one's
touched it.
touched it since
no,
then.
it's a very busy camera. That's why I can
Oh wow,
only been able to have it a few times.
this camera's so busy.
It's a busy boy.
He's booked up.
Oh man, I saw this posting earlier today on Craigslist that I shared with Eric right before we went live. It was on the New York Craigslist, and
Oh, this is the one you sent us.
yes, I'm going to read the title of it. It's a job posting. 42 jobs, 42 shady people needed. The shadier, the better. Then like $6 signs. And it's like you read through this list and it starts insane and then just gets crazier and crazier as you're going down this list of jobs.
Should we do a thing where you read through them and we say if we would do it or not?
Sure.
Great idea.
Pick
Yeah.
a number between 1 and 42.
7.
7. Job 7. We're looking for someone who can co-create 1-minute YouTube videos. Looking for someone who is good at improv and a script writer. You will be trained first. If you are an actor and can read the scripts, this may be for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
have a
like tailor-made for you.
If you have a degree in script writing, creative writing, communication, or marketing, we will contact you first. $150 for 3 hours.
Ah, that's it. 50
It's a
bucks.
3-hour gig.
I guess 50 bucks an hour is pretty good.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
a
I would do
1-minute
it.
video.
Hell yeah.
For someone with that degree, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Hey,
All right, Brian, you're up.
I have a marketing degree. Pick a number.
Pick a number. 1 to 42, not 7.
20.
20. Okay. Job 20. Cool sculpting and lipo.
And lipo?
Yeah.
Like
Liposuction.
liposuction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need someone to go up to people that you think need the service and make videos talking about the service from a clinic needing clients. Part-time. $150 for 1 hour.
You basically
I
are telling
would do
people they're
that.
fat.
So go up and tell people like, hey, I got a
But
product for you.
The problem is you need to identify, go to be like, hey, you look kind of fat. Let me tell you about cool,
Yeah.
cool sculpting and liposuction.
It's like on. Do you ever see like on TV news when they're talking about like America's obesity epidemic and they have all these with the heads cut
The
off?
faceless, yeah.
God damn.
Awful.
And but those people know that it's them.
Gavin, pick a number.
37.
37, going down the list. Okay, this one's one of the crazy ones. I like this one. Restaurant promotion. Job 37.
Okay.
Restaurant promotion. I need about 15 people to stand outside and pretend to wait in line outside the restaurant.
Yes.
I need other people to sit at the tables to make it look crowded. This is for 2 hours at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., $100 per person.
Easy.
This is a new brunch place. I need 15 people to stand in line Sunday morning, $100 for 2 hours for the next 3 Sundays.
100%. That's
Yeah.
like the best one.
Yeah.
They do that in comedy. It's called papering a crowd. It's just like, yeah, you just give tickets away or whatever.
There was one that you were telling us about where you just get paid to get chiropractic
Oh,
adjustments.
yeah.
But you have to be over 50.
Yeah, you way to spoil it.
Oh, sorry.
Job 18. We need someone to make an appointment with at least 30 chiropractors in your area and get an adjustment for our chiropractic review site. We will pay for your copay and any fees to get there. You will be running the website. Long-term partnership positions with this are available for those that do not have a job and are qualified to run the site. Must be over 50 years old and have some type of back pain for this position. $250,000 per year.
Amazing. Amazing.
But you have to get
Now
your
Mike's in
but you have to get your back adjusted like 30 times.
at least 30 times.
But over the course of how long? Because
Doesn't
if that's
say.
like,
It's for the site.
24 hours.
So if you did it in a year, what's 250,000 divided by 30?
250, 1, 2, 3,
that's
divided
good.
by 30. That's about 83.33.
so $8,000 per chiropractic adjustment?
Yes.
So it's
I
almost
don't-
literally $8,000 a pop.
Yeah.
I don't trust chiropractors. Like whenever they show those adjustments on YouTube, you're just cracking your neck.
Sorry,
like,
we can't breeze over that amazing pun.
I'm
that
sorry,
Kevin
sorry,
just made. Said $8,000 a pop.
Hey.
Hey, can you read job 27 for me, please?
I wanted to read 21, but I'll read 27 first. Oh, this is a good one. Job 27. One-time job. $50 per call. Average 6 minutes per call. We will call you and will pretend to be the manager and argue with us on what we are trying to complain about. Example, we got a 46-minute massage and it should have been 50 minutes we paid for. You will try to argue with us and eventually give us our money back or a comp massage. No scripts provided. You must be good at improv. This job is only needed for 1 day. $200 for 4 hours of calls.
Before we move on, what What is this?
Is this
for
like a
some
Nathan
reason,
Fielder thing?
Throughout the listing, it keeps going back about like I feel like there's a couple of jobs where it's like
Revenge?
They're like revenge based or like
Fetish, or
like
fetish
specifically like the massage thing was like 4 minutes short. I feel like he goes back to that a couple of times, and it's like something really happened.
So they want you to play the manager of a place,
Right,
That
and-
they're gonna call and
Correct.
argue with. Is it like to practice?
Like a Nathan, like a
like
rehearsal.
thing,
I don't know.
Or
Maybe
is
it's
it like
like,
to do
after
in
the fact.
front of someone?
That's what I was thinking. Like they're doing it in front of someone performatively.
Like, let's say it's like your wife is like, you should call and get your money back. Like, this is unacceptable. And
Right.
it's like,
You're so not
okay.
assertive. I'll show you.
Yeah, I'll
Read
show
job
you.
15.
Job 15. Yeah, this is related. Job 15. I got a bot massage. Okay, so there's grammatical errors in somebody, so it's hard to read. I bought a massage at a day spa for 50 minutes. I only got a 46-minute massage since he was 2 minutes late and ended 2 minutes early. I was shorted 4 minutes and I paid $140. I will PayPal $100 for anyone that calls the day spa and lets them know what they did was wrong. You will send me the recording. One-time job only.
I like how they're complaining that they were shorted 4 minutes for a $140 massage, but are willing to pay someone $100.
Because it's
clearly
the
the
principle.
principle.
Yeah, it's the principle. And it was clearly like the last 4 minutes that they were looking the most forward.
Yeah. One of my favorites is Job 21. Luxury elevator review site. We need someone to go to hotels and critique their elevators for our site. You will be complaining about smoothness, ventilation, speed of elevator, brushed or polished nickel, etc., etc. You will be making YouTube video reviews comparing elevator qualities. Must be over 42 years old for this job.
42?
$75 per hour, 4 hours.
Oh my God.
I'll take it. I'll do that.
You know, I
I'll
heard
do
that job has some ups and downs.
Help!
Yes.
The boo. Anyway, there it is. This whole posting is like drug-filled lunacy.
Yeah.
Like you just keep reading, you're like, what is this?
Is it all about the same person?
So this is one listing.
It's one listing.
One listing.
I don't know. This person keeps saying we or the company is all. I don't know what they're
Across
getting
all
at.
the job listings, how much money is up for grabs?
I can't even begin.
I mean,
to
if
good
one of them is
question.
$250,000 for the year, like
You're talking millions, I
My
feel like.
God.
There's some where they're like, if you can do this job and the other job, we'll give you priority.
Wow.
Like they
Oh, like we can work out
yeah.
a combo deal.
Like if you can
for
do job 17 and job 2 at the same time, like let's talk and stuff
It's like with
that.
the phone company. Well, if you get internet too,
Right.
and cable, yeah, we can cut. Interesting.
that's crazy.
Oh, job 14. I'm sorry. I keep going back to these because I love these. Job 14. Call a home theater store that hung up on me and waste as much of their time as you can. I have other stores that I need this done for too that I pay the same for. Also, I need you to call my competitors who tried to get my dealership cut off. Waste as much of their time as possible. I will provide a burn phone as well. $100 for one call only.
This
Oh,
is
wow.
amazing. It's almost like the opposite of the rehearsal where he has dealt with certain things in his life and he wishes he'd done it in a different way. So he's just making up for it by having other
people
people
do it?
complain
And then
on
record it.
his behalf and like, yeah,
And then
like get
provide.
revenge
I'm
in
also
certain
like,
ways.
especially the elevator one, like the reviewing elevators. For what purpose? Like what? And wants to make videos about it?
Well, I like also the way they phrased it. You will complain about instead of you will talk, you will discuss. Like,
It's not like we're trying to goose their rating on Yelp.
right.
or
No.
something.
It's objectively, you're going to go in there and talk about how these things specifically suck,
my
etc.
And
Can you
get paid for it.
read job 35 for me?
I like how Eric's just going through them.
Job 35. So personal. Dog poop. The doorman down the street accused me of not picking up after my dog. I need someone to go to the dog park and collect as much poop as they can and spread it all around the building where I was accused. I will pay the fine if you get a ticket. $1,000 for anyone that will do it. 1 day job only.
I'll do it.
$1,000 to throw some dog shit around?
Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
this is like an angry retiree who has a
Probably.
litany of gripes.
Honestly,
about-
if you were like old and had nothing to do but just had like a ton of money to spend,
And like no beneficiaries.
yeah, I feel like I would do shit like this. I would make a list of like useless, stupid jobs.
Just gonna get other people arrested is what's gonna happen.
There was an episode of The Simpsons
your
where
pleasure.
Mr. Burns makes Homer his prank monkey.
Yeah.
And makes him go out and do things and like just gives him money to go out and like cause mischief. It's like, it's along those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
Yep.
The thing about this listing too is that when you scroll through them, a lot of them are like they're bizarre. Some of them just say filled. It'll say like job 16 filled.
Filled.
There are like 4 on there that are like he's editing the listing and going like, I already have this one done. Don't even worry about it.
This feels like a real life Squid Game. Like after you do one, the guy is going to give you a card and be like, if you would like to make more money, come here. Yeah.
Okay, last thing I'm going to mention about this, there's like the final paragraph at the very end, after all 42 jobs. We respond to emails immediately. If you're interested in a product review position, we will respond first to those that provide a photo. We respond immediately to all emails. Please pick up to 2 jobs only. You will be contacted last if you don't have a photo. If you want to do jobs that we can't list on Craigslist, put Shady in the subject when you email. Our post gets taken down if we list the other jobs.
Squid Game.
Total Squid Game.
Definitely.
This feels like how you apply to write for The Onion as well. It is like super secretive. They have like a Google form. Yeah.
It's so fucking bizarre.
I think we should all write our own list of 42 jobs for hire and come back to the
that's
podcast.
a great idea.
I want to like make weirdo postings on Craigslist like that. Just super bizarre stuff. I feel like you used to see that back in the day on like missed connections.
Yeah.
Or like Backpage in the Chronicle. Like it'd be like
The best.
right, like real weirdo stuff. Like this can't be like this is a coded message that they're sending to someone. Like someone is looking for this specifically. This is nonsense to everyone else except for one person out there.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We definitely should do a follow-up on a podcast one week where we all come with our own jobs.
We should compete to see how much money we can make on the responding to these jobs.
Were any of the jobs illegal, or was it just all sort of weird?
They can't
stuff
list
like
their shady jobs. You have to respond and put shady in the subject line if you want to get the list.
get to the real stuff?
Eric.
Okay.
Eric
Email them.
Shady?
Email them shady. Find out what the shady jobs are.
I'm not going to email these people, get on a list.
And it's signed
a load of
Find
dog
me, I
shit
get dog
illegal?
poop in front of my house? No.
Use like a different email account.
It's signed Jake and Allen.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel. Yeah.
It's very scammy.
Yeah.
I've already applied for 2 of them.
If you guys have any dog poop, let me know. I need it for an unrelated project.
Is this something that I assume like went viral and somebody?
I don't know. A friend of mine sent it to me last night. So I don't know where he
Yeah.
found it. I assume
yeah.
it's somewhere. Yeah. I have no idea.
Have you talked about new Game of Thrones on this podcast?
Only very briefly. And in the post show last episode, I was really dragging my heels on this. I really did not want to watch more Game of Thrones. But I have watched the 2 episodes that are out so far.
Yeah.
It's like a week-to-week release.
Yeah. And I hate that I'm getting into it.
I'm so
Why?
into it.
I'm into it too. Yeah. I hated the first one. I was like, this is boring.
Yeah.
I was also a little intoxicated, so I wasn't like, paying that close attention. But then by the second, I was like, okay, we got some palace interest. But I want different. I want different families involved now.
Yeah.
That's what made Game of Thrones so fun. And this is just the fucking Targaryens.
Yeah, there are other ancillary families they're dealing with, but they don't really get into them. It's just
Right. But they're the stars of the. It's
Yeah.
all about. It's all
Yeah.
people with white hair.
like there's another family that's like, we also go back to old Valyria. Like, let's talk more about that.
Right. Can y'all can we get some scenes with them? But no, it's just
So
people.
there's Valeria, but there's also a family called the Valarians.
Yes.
It's confusing.
It's spelled slightly. I watch everything with subtitles on now. It's
do I.
spelled
Yeah.
slightly
Especially for
differently.
Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Subtitles helps so much.
But at least you like find out a little bit like, like the what do they call it? The doom of old Valyria or the fall of old Valyria. It was a volcano eruption. Like, okay, thank you.
the big cataclysm.
Right.
That yeah.
The reason it's not there anymore. It's like they at least are like breadcrumbing some things.
You can tell how desperate HBO are to get people to watch it, just that they have the exact same music in the intro. Like, it's not like
Yeah.
they're just like, hey, it's still Game of Thrones. Play
Yeah.
the exact same tune, which I'm all for. And
It's
it's the
funny
same
that-
style, the same.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a lot of people are hesitant to watch this one because the last season of Game of Thrones was so lackluster and they feel like almost burdened by it? Like, was that how you were feeling about it? Or it's just you didn't want more of this universe?
Yeah, in one respect, like I was okay with the way it ended. I wish it had been better, but it's
Me
fine.
too. That's how I felt.
Yeah, it was fine. I'm just like, and again, this is me. I'm not like this. This is my take. Like, I know not everyone's going to agree with this. I'm tired of seeing white people fight with each other to rule the world. It's like we have this high fantasy setting. Anything goes. Oh, it's like, oh, and there's one black dude. Cool.
Yeah.
Like one person speaks with an accent, and she's the sex worker. Like, I just wish it. And like
Oh,
you said,
that's
it's
crazy, because whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, there's diversity. That's good. Man, this is 2022.
It's like you said, it's all these people with the white hair fighting
it is.
to rule
Yeah.
the world.
It's
I
like the
love-
Targaryens, right?
Yeah.
It's like it was already very much that, and then they
yeah.
like really focused in on that one
The
specific
whitest
family.
of-
Right.
For me, it was like a couple. I thought the Game of Thrones, for how good it was, for like 80%, it was kind of and I didn't mind the ending, but it did feel like
Rushed,
like
yeah.
it felt rushed, and all the usual criticisms. Prequels, I feel like, are usually pointless because you know how it's going to end.
Right.
Except Better Call Saul, which and that was
so good.
fucking great.
Still need to watch that show.
Yeah, I need to watch that too.
And I'm still a little mad that George R. R. Martin is just doing all these other things
Dude.
and not finishing so there's a little resentment still from
Yeah.
him. I know it's not his job, but it is his job. Like, it is his job to
Yeah.
finish it.
Yeah, he's like,
it's your job.
He in the entire time Game of Thrones was running, even to now.
Yes.
One book has come out.
2011 was the last one.
What the fuck is he doing?
He's
wake
being
up.
George R. R. Martin. He's
Right.
just sort of tending to this franchise now. But it's kind of like what George Lucas did with but like he finished Star Wars. Like
Yeah.
he made the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, and like George R. R. Martin's constantly saying that he's working on it and that it's going to come out. It's like, I think that last book that came out was like in season 2 of Game of Thrones. Like the show
Oh,
was
really?
still new. Like it was
How many books are there?
4 or 5. I don't remember. I've read them all twice. I don't.
Yeah, me too.
It's been so long. I don't fucking remember.
Wow.
I just love the idea of he wrote such good books that now everyone's mad that he just doesn't write more books. It's like,
I know there's pressure. Like I'm sure and he said this before. Like there's a lot of pressure now because it started in the 90s. I think the
Sure.
first one was in 1996, and he was, I feel like, a nobody, and then it took off, and they're great, but I do feel like your primary responsibility.
Well,
is to finish
isn't it a thing, not to get like dark about it, but it's like finish this before you.
Oh, that's
Kick it?
been, and he gets mad when people bring
he
it,
gets
which
real
I
mad.
get.
Oh, of course,
I
people would get mad.
well, it's just
Someone get mad at that.
everyone's treating him like this tool.
Yeah,
who needs
get
to,
your
like,
stuff out before you die. Like, come on. Like,
Well,
yes, that's obviously very insensitive.
That happened with
but-
Wheel of Time with Robert Jordan. Very similar in that it started and it got popular, and all of a sudden, but with him, he just started there were more and more books, so the story just got longer and longer, and then he died.
I just feel like there's such fear with you can't please everyone with the ending. And
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
he just doesn't want to actually
Yeah.
end it.
But he
that.
still the next book isn't even supposed to be the last one.
Yeah,
There's 2 more
right.
planned.
right.
So the books came out, like you said, they started in 96. There's 5 of them.
Okay,
Between
okay.
96 and 2011, which is 15 years, he wrote 5 of them.
Well, and you can
Wow.
see in the release, it was like 96, 98, 2001, 2007. Or it's like
It's creepy.
He starts stretching his legs a little
Maybe
bit.
he's just distracted by the vans of money that pull up every
Of
day.
course. I don't blame him. Like, if I were in his shoes, I'd probably do the same thing.
You think
But
at
I'm
this
not.
point, you can just hire a ghostwriter to finish it.
Well, Brandon Sanderson is going to be finishing this one up the same way he did Wheel of Time. I got news for you. They're going to I feel like it's going to, but actuarially, like certain things are going to happen, but that series will get finished one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 2011. It's been 11 years since the last book came out. And I reread all the books like 3 or 4 years ago, thinking, okay, this is the year the book's going to come out.
Yeah.
It didn't, and it's been another 3 or 4 years since then, and I've forgotten it all.
And it's good. I mean, it is like, and the show was great. Like,
I don't remember if we brought this up on the podcast because sometimes I get muddled with like things I tell people in person versus what I say on the podcast. But we used to watch Game of Thrones at Bernie's place like every week back in the day. And at some points we would watch it outside. Like he would project we use a projector outside like on a wall, and we would watch it outside. And it was the Red Wedding episode. And I don't remember if you were there for this, Gavin, but it was that scene where all the death was happening. And at the very same moment, his cat caught a mouse in the backyard
I wasn't there
and
for
was
this.
killing it and like essentially like and like fighting with his mouth and killing it at the same time as everyone getting fucking murdered.
Can you
in the Red
imagine-
Wedding? And it was very immersive, basically.
I'll bet his neighbors were stoked. They're like, it is Sunday night. Like, I gotta fucking work in the morning.
Yeah, we're playing Game of Thrones.
I'm hearing a live murder happen.
It's very funny.
Man, yeah. So anyway, I don't remember. Oh, yeah. So yes, this is our Game of Thrones. This is our House of Dragons talk.
I haven't
And
started it yet.
There is a
I'm getting through Westworld first, and then I'm gonna start.
also
Is that good? Do you like it?
I actually quite enjoyed this
Yeah?
season. Yeah, I didn't think I would, just based off like season 1 was probably like one of my favorite seasons of television.
That's what I've heard about Westworld. That
It's
season 1 was
so
great.
good.
Yeah.
And I felt like the other seasons weren't as strong, but I actually quite liked the direction of this one. This season.
Okay.
I liked this season, but I think it was my least favorite out of the 4, just because you were left. I felt like I was left in the dark too long. Like what's going on, and then when the season finished, I felt like it was set up for whatever's coming next. Like I'm excited about what's coming next,
okay.
but I felt like we were very much in the middle of
story.
the story here.
Some of the reveals that happened, I think were just like, I liked waiting for those reveals because then it feels more like, oh shit, like
You're also
that's
watching
what
it all
was
on demand. I was waiting week to week.
Yeah, I guess that'd
so
be
it is
different,
very
yeah.
different.
That's about sex robots, right?
Yeah,
Like sexy.
Do you know the
sexy
premise of
or
what
hook
it's-
or prostitute robots?
It's basically
Sorry,
Westworld
what-
is like a world you could pay to go to and visit, and
Okay.
it's like it's an immersive world where you have hosts, which are robots,
Okay.
but like are pretty much like indistinguishable from humans.
Okay, all right.
And when you're part of this world, you could have sex with them, you could kill them, like essentially just like,
You can do whatever you want. It's your fantasy
Right.
or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
and it's obviously things go in a dark direction.
Okay.
yeah. Well, then it starts to deal with what is consciousness,
Consciousness, yeah.
Are these things
the
really
robot's
alive or
more
not? Right.
human than the
Or
humans.
like aware,
Hell yeah.
awareness and
Well, it's like-
emotion.
Well, it's more like
No,
our,
but I've seen it.
our
Like,
shortcomings and failure. Since they're modeled on humans, our shortcomings and failures are inherently theirs as well.
Man, we handled all this shit in Star Trek: The Next Generation with Data.
There was a Westworld movie from the 70s.
Yeah, with Yul Brynner. and he
Brynner,
takes
right?
his faces off
Yeah.
on the VH. Yeah, I remember that.
It was a Michael Crichton book.
Is there banging in that?
There is in that movie there is like a Roman world, or it's like all like orgies and like drunken parties.
Is it the same source text or is it based on the same?
It's very
shit?
loosely
Okay,
based on
all
the
right.
same thing,
right.
like the theme park with robots
Got
kind
it.
of thing. And like in season 2 of the show, they do show some of the other parks. Like I said in the movie, there was like a Roman world, but there is no Roman world in the TV show. There's
Yeah.
like other worlds.
It's a Japan world at one point. Isn't it?
It's quite good.
Yeah.
I would recommend it.
All right.
Yeah.
It's always been one of those. It's like maybe
You'll get to it when you get to
maybe
it.
Westworld.
But it's one of those. It's one of those shows that people spoil with their theories.
Yes.
So just don't listen to people.
It's
while
so
you're watching
funny
it.
when we were talking about Severance for a really long time, and then Gav, you and Meg started watching it and loved it and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, can I talk about some of my theories? And both of you guys were like, no, like absolutely not. And I was like, but I wanna.
Because a lot of the time people are right, and then it's just like, and that was the reveal, and I already was thinking. It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
guess,
what
like-
happened with Game of Thrones too. Like the fan theories were right. They like fans
Yeah,
figured it
that's
out.
what happened to me with Westworld.
Oh, really?
With the,
You're not caught up on it though. You stopped after season.
I watched season 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay.
3 is the best one, in my opinion. But if you start 1 is very strong. Like if you start the first episode, you start like the first couple, you're like, oh shit, like this is good. Like it's got a
Season
really
1
strong
is
hook.
Like we're
Incredible.
off to the fucking races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also go in trying not to remember what we told you already.
I feel like we talked about it in a very
Feels
roundabout,
loosey.
vague way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Although,
like
yeah.
this is what I've known about Westworld just
Okay.
from Twitter or
yeah.
whatever.
Also, I tried to talk about it more abstract, like almost even from the point where it's like you can translate to the movie too. Like
Okay.
the old shitty movie that I know only Brian probably remembers because we're both old as hell.
I never watched it, but I worked in a video store, so I definitely remember seeing the video.
I've watched it a few times. It's
You a
fine.
big Yul Brynner fan?
Yeah, man,
Yul Brynner's alright,
Magnificent
yeah.
Seven. Fuck yeah, he was the shit.
It's like one of those high concept sci-fi movies that they tried to make way too early. It's like
But it was the 70s.
right. It's like they're in the 70s. Like we don't have the technology to really pull it off or make it. Like even their grandest ideas for what the future of what technology could do, it's still like, oh, that's all like shitty and stupid.
There's so many glorious disasters in the 70s like that. Just like I don't know, just like, they sort of went for it.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think about some earlier movies that go for it, like from a sci-fi perspective, and they nail it. Like going back to that Tom Scott video you did, eating the hot sauce. Like you all talked about like the first graphical spreadsheet and like, having, computer displays. Like
It's my worst answer, probably.
the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, when that movie came out, computer monitors did not exist. But in the movie, they do. They were still prescient enough to know, like, this is the direction that things are going to go into. So, like, these computers need to have monitors for people to be able to interact with them.
That's crazy.
And it's like, that was not a thing that
we hadn't
existed.
been to the moon yet at
Right.
that point. Like, it is that movie is so good. It's not one I watch all the time, but whenever I see it, it's just like.
And even like the effects that look relatively simple now, like all the lights going, it's
Yeah.
just like to do that then was insane. And the whole like rotating set.
The
and everything's
rotating
amazing.
set with the flight attendant in that space plane is fucking cool as hell.
And it's not shot in like a, hey, look at our set kind of way. It's just shot so subtly where you're just like, he's just running around and it's just like,
Well, also, there's that. They also really start to show off, like at one point when early in the movie when like he falls asleep, and he's like weightless, and there's the floating pen like next to him, and it's floating, like, oh, that's cute, but then like someone comes and grabs it and picks it up and moves it, like, oh, okay, no, that was really fucking cool.
Yeah. Kubrick's the best.
Yeah.
God, he's so
Kubrick's
good.
the best, but somehow also the worst at the same time.
yeah.
Like supposedly an absolute
Horrendous.
nightmare to work
Oh,
with.
with all the takes? Yeah,
Yeah.
like a million. I know, but man, it's not like when he hit.
Do you guys feel like there's not a lot of new movies coming out these days?
I feel like it's the same. I feel like it's the same way with video games, where it's like the big blockbusters are kind of in a lull. I feel like everything
Yeah.
got delayed, and
Yeah.
we're kind of still dealing with that.
We just saw Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's like the most recent new movie I felt like I've seen. It was pretty good.
Yeah. I
Did
enjoyed
you
it.
like it?
I wouldn't watch it again, but I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, probably the same. Well, I think with like any murder mystery kind of movie, it's like once you've
Once
seen
you
it
saw
and
it,
you know
yeah.
the outcome, you're like, okay.
It's like Knives Out. Like,
Knives Out though was so good.
It was good.
That
Actually-
next one's coming out this year in December.
There's a second one.
Glass Onion.
Is Chris Evans in it again?
Daniel Craig is back.
Dang it. I like
Beyond
Chris
that,
Evans.
I think it's a different cast.
It does feel like we're in a I mean, like it feels to me like the business model of movies kind of collapsed, and they're like, but they don't want to just come out and say it's dead yet. You know what I'm like? I feel like the pandemic kind of killed it, and they're just.
Are we just seeing the lag from the pandemic? And just
I
like,
think so,
There were
yeah.
there were people that made films during that, but then there was also a lot of things that didn't get made, and now we're just.
Well, I think
Seeing him.
the pandemic also pushed for quicker turnaround and more direct distribution to consumers. Like, Warner did all their movies on HBO Max. And now you're seeing it's a lot easier to rent a movie and watch it at home while it's still playing in the theater.
Right.
Like, I rented and watched Nope at home the other day. It's like $20. It's like, well, if I'm going to the theater, I'd probably spend more than $20 if I, buy
What'd
a
you
take
think?
for me and my wife. I thought it was really good.
You like Nope?
Go to the Draft House and buy a bunch of food. It's like, okay, I'll pay $20 to rent this and watch it at home while it's still in the theater.
Yeah, definitely.
It was good. It was worth it.
I did that for I think it was the live action Mulan movie. I think we rented it or bought it on Disney Plus to watch.
Oh yeah,
it.
they had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you're starting to see that. I think there's a lot of pivoting happening. Like now that we have data on how many people are willing to pay and how much they're willing to pay. Now you're starting to see a lot more like calculations, like where
What's
are
your
we going
price
to
point? Here?
Right. What's the price point?
What are you willing to do
What-
for a first run?
What budget can we give a movie? Do we know we're going to get on the
Yeah.
back end in revenue from direct to consumer streaming?
It also, though, too, just feels like the turnaround from in the theaters to streaming or whatever, or you can rent for like $5 feels so short now.
Yeah.
It does feel like I haven't been to the movies, and I think since before the pandemic. Have I gone?
Have you
Oh,
gone?
really?
You haven't gone since?
I don't think so.
I mean, I guess you have kids. and
Yeah.
stuff, and-
Did I? Maybe I saw one, but it doesn't. But in my mind, it's like 6 weeks. It'll be out on something.
Yeah.
Like whereas like you remember back in the day, it was like a fucking year.
It was a year,
or
yeah.
Years.
It was a year,
Like, it was
and then it would be
forever.
on HBO. We'd like, shit, I don't have HBO.
I don't have HBO. Yeah.
Yeah.
When's it coming to USA?
Right.
I guess for me, it's like going to the movies is something to do. Like, and I think ever since things started like coming back to normal a little bit since the pandemic, I'm just looking for excuses to do stuff.
For sure.
And like just be out, especially like with people or even just like in public. And so movies is like an easy thing. Just like, yeah, let's go sit in a theater and order some food. And
yeah, I love like the Alamo. I mean, the
Alamo's
Alamo's
great.
great. But yeah, I just haven't. I don't know why.
they just
Stuff
need
is
to
coming
break.
out so fast though. Like I walked past the new Jurassic Park or Jurassic World in Best Buy. I feel like that only just was out.
Yeah, they're really shortening the time. Like it's coming to rent and then to own on digital, and then they're turning those discs around
Yeah.
really fast. Like,
Yeah.
And I didn't want to watch it in either format. Which
I,
I was gonna say,
I feel like
did you
the
get it?
exception to that, and it's probably because of Tom Cruise, is Top Gun Maverick. Like it had.
Oh yeah, everybody was going to.
Is
see
that out on like on rental yet?
It's available on VOD now. Like you can buy it digitally. I don't. The disc. I think the disc comes out next week.
I would
Hell yeah.
buy that on VOD. I loved that movie.
Yeah, but that's like that. They definitely embrace like an older Hollywood release cadence with that.
Yeah,
but that
Tom
being
Cruise is like, it will be in theaters only.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking Tom Cruise. You got to go to the big room to watch.
from the same guy that provided the don't watch the high refresh rate on your own TV. What was that a PSA he did?
Yeah, like how to disable motion smoothing on your TV.
I
Yeah, it's
hate
like, turn that
motion smoothing. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that still I feel like that came out at the beginning of summer, but now it's already available. Like that, even that's faster than it used to be. But
Yeah.
they definitely went through their full theatrical
We're going
run.
to try to give it a full, give it a
that.
full run.
I want it on disc.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Let me see when that's.
I don't remember the last time I bought a physical movie.
I still do it.
Years.
It just seems like the best way to the best quality.
They won't yank it out from under you.
Yeah, and it won't get like patched or
You get like a
removed.
Blu-ray or something? Or?
Yeah, just like a 4K
Yeah.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Although I think a lot of the films, like all the Avengers stuff, if it had like IMAX format, it's actually you get like a taller image if you watch on Disney Plus than if you buy the disc. But
So VOD is available now. The disc doesn't come out till November 1st
damn,
for Top Gun Maverick.
fair play.
Noted.
But yeah, lots of times also there's that website that you and I have looked at before. It's like Real 4K or not. I forget what the website is, and
Yeah.
it like lists every physical disc release. It tells you whether it's actually a true 4K transfer or if it's like there's an intermediary step or it's been upscaled.
It's like when you buy the Game of Thrones box set. It's like now the whole thing was shot in 2K, so it's like why?
I've been to that site, Mr. Skin. Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, I think also would like a lot. We talked about this. I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah,
I've talked about that so many times. All right, stop. That's me. I feel
Physically stopping.
it wants to come out and like go through it again.
You're pulling on your own leash.
Yeah.
So what is everyone doing right now, right at this moment that this podcast is happening? September 5th,
It is
around 6:23 p.m.
probably eating dinner.
what if we all come here and we'll send us a message
From the future.
God damn it.
The last time we had that discussion, it was with Brian as well.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The
We were-
podcast
we
that
Was
we
it the
filmed.
last Labor Day or another pre-tape?
it was when our pre-tape was at the same time as the live, which
Yeah.
wasn't live.
Yeah, it was
from
like
the
we
week before.
pre-taped 2 episodes basically.
Right.
See, it's not confusing. You got it right away.
That would
You
that
totally
has only
understood it.
happened once, and it would have been perfect, Eric.
I still don't get the concept. It's like Back to the Future 2. Like, I was like, wait, what?
The big shark's gonna come out and eat you.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you, Barbara? What are you doing?
Probably, I'm probably still in my pajamas, and maybe I'm watching Top Gun.
Oh,
I might do that this weekend. Long weekend. Rent some.
go to the danger zone.
Exactly.
I'm going to try my goal, and I did this Father's Day, like start drinking early, but try to hide it. Not hide it, but like keep it together. So it's like maintain that level.
Yeah.
So I can kind of coast through the whole. I started that with Father's Day, like start out, 10 a.m. or something,
And
nice.
is it
like-
beer at 10 a.m.?
Beer, yeah. Or something. Yeah, probably beer. And but then somebody brought me as a gift. It was 9% beer. Like it was, but my judgment was so down the hatch. And I do not remember the rest
Basically
of
just
Father-
drinking like pints of wine at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yes. And they kept saying, apparently during dinner, I mean, I kind of remember, it's like fuzzy.
Happy Father's
But
Day.
there's this show we've been watching, What We Do in the Shadows,
Yeah.
the vampire. And at one
We just
point,
started it.
oh, it's so good.
so good.
At one point, the vampire, she keeps saying, it's a throwaway line. She's like, oh, "Oh, your stupid little baby feelings," or so, to one. And I said that the entire dinner, to the point to where my 4-year-old now says that at school to her classmates.
I love that.
Because her drunk dad just,
she saw
got
you-
something stuck in his
Yeah,
brain.
she saw you were killing with it. She's like, I got to use some of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, the goal is to recreate that.
Speaking of drunk dad Brian, we're going to see some pro wrestling on Thursday.
Oh,
hopefully
are
tomorrow
ya?
night.
I'm bringing the kids,
He's
baby.
bringing 2 kids to the pro wrestling show. It's gonna be good.
I feel like every time I look at your Instagram story, Eric, you're at a wrestling show.
Wrestling is back in Austin, Texas. It's fantastic.
I like seeing like this elaborate move like off the ropes upside down, and then you just hear like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's really cool. Like at this point, I'm like in my mid-30s, so watching like these kids who are like 22 and like finally have like, okay, I think I know how to put this match together, and like they just go insane doing this stuff is really fun. But these like this Inspire Pro show that we're going to, is it a pin, like the pinballs that's like all the way up north, so you
The
just
big
go
one?
early and play arcade games or
And
whatever.
then watch wrestling.
Yep, but and then there's a booth there sometimes that hands out free beer, so something to
Free?
be aware of.
They can't, especially the 9-year-old. She cannot wait. Like
really?
I was showing her
She
some
loves it.
videos. She's into like scary stuff, and she'll see me watching like old wrestling clips. Or she was like, "Is there going to be blood?" And I was like, "I don't know," And she was kind of asking me. She's like, asking me how it's worked. She's like, "But it's not real, right?" And I'm kind of explaining like, "Well, it's like, it's choreographed, but like some of the moves really do hurt." And she's like, "Well, then why do they do it?" And I'm like, "Because it's really fun. Like you'll really get into it." So she's really stoked. And a comic friend of mine, Roxy, I think works, or Roxy Castillo.
She's like the manager for like the main event guys.
Yeah, I saw her.
She's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, because she mentioned we did a show together a couple months back, and she mentioned on stage she had been doing some pro wrestling stuff, and then I saw her on a trailer. So I'm stoked to see her, and yeah, I'm so jealous. I want to, before I die, I want to be a pro wrestling manager for like one fucking match, like a heel, just an evil. I want to come out and just insult the shit out of the crowd.
In
Just
Ireland?
Oh, that would
that
be
in Ireland.
great.
Wrestling manager in
Oh,
Ireland.
God. Just dust off my IRA jokes. But
I
just,
hope you don't bomb.
yeah.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey, we all got one.
I found out that Eric's been holding out on me in this local wrestling scene. I saw on Reddit that there was a local wrestler called Luigi Primo
Yeah, he
Yes.
makes the best
who
pizza.
makes pizzas while he wrestles.
Yes.
Luigi Primo comes out and he wrestles with. He'll probably be at that show.
Oh, he's really good.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see. I hope
He's
he
like
is. I know he
tossing-
wasn't billed, but
He's tossing pizza dough as he's wrestling and uses it as a prop.
My
in his-
favorite
How
thing is
dirty is that?
throwing
by
it to
end?
the opponent,
Right.
and he's like, "What the fuck am I going to do with this?"
I do love how, obviously like wrestling being, a performance in a sense and stuff like that. And just like the whole yes and thing where it's like, yeah, he's doing this whole pizza flipping thing and the other guy's like trying to swat it and like all this stuff like
Who was the guy in
half-assing.
the old clip where he was like throwing people around the ring with his mind?
My favorite is like the guy whose arm is a snake, and then the guy
maybe that's
snake
what I'm
charms it, and like it turns on him.
Snake. Yeah, that's great.
What was that famous clip where it's like someone's wearing like a mask and they take it off and it's like actually them or
It's
something?
The
Sting.
Sting mask. Yeah.
It's
Sting?
Sting.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sting's
that-
wearing a Sting mask and he takes off the mask and he's wearing.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
He's done that like 3 times now, and it's great every single
Oh.
time.
So funny.
Luigi Primo's supposed to be at that show. He's a bad guy now. He turned heel.
Oh no!
Oh, not
He
Luigi.
said that, he's not happy with Inspire Pro, so he started a weird faction with a guy named the Red Scare and another guy named the Great Depression.
Wow.
Oh God, indie wrestling is the best.
I love this. Luigi Primo's Twitter handle is @BestPizzaChef.
Yep.
Very.
He's an Austin, Texas guy.
Yeah.
He wrestles here. He's great.
He has like t-shirt. I saw some of his. I'm definitely gonna get some
I'm
of
looking
his
at his
merch,
merch right
too.
now.
Like he
we get
he
him on
has
the
this
podcast?
deranged look
Yeah,
with the big
absolutely.
muscle.
Yeah, we could. I think Luigi Primo would definitely be on
Let's
the
get him and
podcast.
Choopy the Chupacabra cat.
Yeah,
I
we'll
like-
get Choopy. We'll get Austin Legends, Luigi Primo, and Choopy the Chupacabra cat.
I love this little
podcast.
enamel pin. It's like a slice of pizza that
Oh,
says
he's great.
Luigi Primo.
Yeah.
The last indie show I was at in Austin was, gosh, I forget. It was like a hardcore. It was Anarchy Wrestling. It's several years ago, and it was at kind of a bar-ish area, but it had an open area downtown. It was and it was like in February. It was in the winter, and it was below freezing, and it was an outdoor show. It was the cold, and these guys are coming out, in their wrestling, their tights, and just free. But yeah, it was super fun. And when they would like dive into the crowd, they were like, "Get out of the way!" I mean, they weren't like letting up because we were there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
was
great.
fun.
It's a lot of fun. This one, like renting out pinballs for Inspire Pro is like
Genius.
the smartest move because during the break you're like, I will go play the coin dropper game for 10 minutes and get another beer and then
This
come
makes
right
me
back.
want to go back to Blazer Tag.
That's exactly how it feels. It's a blast.
Oh, let's
We should
go.
we should do that again. Just like pick a night and like just do it.
Who's in?
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
a liar.
It's a halfway. See, it's like
It was half-fledged.
He wants
like
to be
that.
invited, and then we'll
Half-fledged.
decide if he wants to.
yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not, because I like Blazer Tag, but I don't like.
See, now
going
I feel
out.
bad for
Are you not
inviting
social? Like, do you
No,
just not like
I
going
don't-
out at all?
Like it's no insult to anybody I know. It's
No,
just
I
like,
get
I
that.
just don't like to go out.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. If
stay.
it wasn't for stand-up, that's like
Yeah.
the main thing that gets me out.
It was really
Yeah.
funny.
And kids, I guess.
We did it for Gavin's birthday. We did Blazer
Yeah.
Tag.
Oh, that's cool.
And-
I live right by there.
And
yeah.
I guess like Meg organized the whole thing. And as part of the package deal, like we each got like a little thing of coins to like go play the arcade games. And it was like literally like she was our mom. And I was like, can I get more coins so I can go play more games? And she like at some point came around with like some more coins for everyone's little buckets. And we were just like, la la la.
We have jobs.
Thanks, mom.
Blazer tag is fun. Yeah, I've been to many a child's birthday party at Blazer tag.
We mentioned this on an episode
It's
of
fucking
Anma a
fun.
couple
Yeah.
episodes ago, but when Jeff and I worked at the call center, when Blazer Tag was still new, instead of eating lunch, sometimes during our lunch break, we'd go to Blazer Tag and just like wipe up on the little kids that were there.
Oh yeah,
Coolest thing.
I love doing that. Like one time we like me and like a bunch of little like 6-year-olds were like behind this corner. I was like, well, I got my child soldiers here, and I just had them kind of fan out and draw the enemy fire. It was
Hold them in
great.
front of you, blocking your
Yeah.
your
Here's
pack.
your key to get you into heaven when you die.
Yeah, I think now that summer's over, we can book the place out again.
Yeah, definitely. It was such a blast.
Y'all just booked the whole place.
It was like after hours, I think,
Okay.
technically.
That's tight.
And yeah, we booked out so it was like the whole place was ours.
That's awesome.
That's really
Which
great.
honestly, like now, I don't know if I could ever not do it that way. Like,
That's some like
because not
Elvis,
having
that's
like
some
a
Elvis
bunch of
shit.
kids around. No, like just in terms of like if you get a big group together and you all like pull your money together and actually like rent out a space rather than trying to like wait for a machine and a bunch of kids
Yeah.
and like waiting for your turn to play laser tag. I'm just too old to wait anymore. I can't
Not
wait.
enough time left.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of the way, kids.
Exactly. Kids could like wait and play together. I'm too selfish
There you go.
and impatient and old.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Let's go play laser tag.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys next week. We'll be live again next week. Bye.